So today's video is just a little video of Rick. I thought I'd film him while I cleaned out his enclosure, and he started to eat more fresh fruit and veggies again. So what I'm doing here is making a little mixture of stuff for him. He'll only nibble at carrot if it's grated, which fair enough, he's an old man. So I started him off with a little bit of grated carrot, and I gave him some of this leafy green stuff. I can't collar some cabbage. I can't remember what it's called. Which all my snails love, including Rick. Rick does like that. As you can see, once he figured out food was about, he came and had a look. I also tried him with some mushroom to see if he would eat it, and the answer from Rick is no. I found Rick, Alvin, Simon and Theodore are not bothered by mushrooms at all. As you can see in a bit, Rick will actively turn his body away from it. The babies, however, though, absolutely love the mushrooms, so they all have different tastes. So here he's just poking an eye out, as you can see, because he's not sure why he's been moved. Because he's always a bit timid at first, but once he figures out, oh, it's okay, she's just given me some food, he comes out. So you can see he's having a little look around. And he has a little look at the, well, so it like puts his mouth by the mushroom and then promptly turns away from it. You'll see he goes towards the carrot first. He does try and nibble it, but it does take him a long time. And you'll see a bit later on what I do is put some of his snail mix. This is an old glass chopping board that I use when I put the snails, when I'm sorting the snails out. I'll put the snails on this glass chopping board with some snail mix and veggies. They sit there having a party and having a nibble while I clean out their enclosures. Obviously do them a few at a time. So Rick goes first, then I'll put Alvin, Simon and Theodore on here after Rick once I've wiped the surface over. And then once I've wiped the surface over after those three, then I'll put the babies on there. I do keep the snails from the 3 tanks separate, mainly because obviously the babies are a lot smaller than everyone else, so obviously I don't want anyone getting squished. And with Rick, because he's old now and I don't want him to breed because he had lots of trouble the last time he had any eggs, I keep him separate from Alvin, Simon and Theodore, especially because they usually try to breed constantly, so it's a good idea to keep them separate from Rick so he can have peace and quiet and just live out his retirement in peace and nibble his veggies. So as you can see here, he's going for some carrot. He does prefer the leafy greens and cucumber, and he also likes snail mix and fish food flakes. He has tried some minced beef before and he kind of nibbled it a bit, but he wasn't too bothered. He prefers the fish flakes. He eats quite a few different veggies like cabbage and stuff once it's been blended, but I found this cabbage leaf stuff, he will eat that quite readily as is. It just takes him a little longer than the others. And he does have lettuce occasionally as a treat just because he likes it. And it's one of them where, like, once they reach a certain age, sometimes you just want to give them something they're going to eat, because Rick does turn his nose up at a lot of stuff. So, yeah, as you can see, he's having a nibble. Now I've put some of his snail mix down. This is ready mixed snail mix that I've made in advance, and then I just have to add water to it. And you'll see he gets a lot more excited as soon as he realises the snail mix is out and starts scoffing. I did try putting the mushrooms in with the snail mix to see if he would try to nibble them. And here what I'm doing is I'm taking the carrot and I'm actually putting it in his enclosure, because that carrot and some cabbage and stuff is going to go in his enclosure for him to nibble at leisure. So you can see he's coming out to have a look at the snail mix, and he does eat quite a bit of this. He does really enjoy it, and he has this twice a week, just so I can make sure he's got plenty of protein in him. And also I do add calcium to his because he doesn't eat the cuttlefish bone. But I didn't add calcium to this one because I've managed to convince him that calcium biscuits are nice. So because he's been doing quite well eating the calcium biscuits, I just give him regular snail mix without any added calcium at the moment. He seems quite happy with that. But if I notice he goes off the calcium biscuit or anything and starts not eating it, then I'll put calcium in with his food, but normally he doesn't need it. Then while he's busy eating, I'll give him a little bit of a wash, just spritz his shell a little bit and wipe off any crusties. With him, he likes to sleep in the calcium dish, so he gets covered in calcium normally. Then I have to wipe that off because it dries on his shell, or he gets just a bit of like mud and stuff on him, so I like to give him a bit of a wipe over. Again, I'm just using water. You don't want to use any soaps or cleansers or anything. So it's just a little bit of water sprinkled on his shell, and then he's wiped with a damp paper towel. And it just makes his shell look nice and shiny and just cleans it up a little bit. I do like the patterns that he's got to his shell. And he always gets that sort of like, there's like a greeny tint to his shell as it grows. You can see as well he's got like a line and then some new growth and stuff. And he gets a line every so often. It's not very often, but every so often. And obviously that main line there between the old shell and the new, that's where he'd stopped eating for a bit at one point, and I changed his diet because it was all changed to mushy stuff and that. So obviously that's why he's got such a significant line there, because his shell, he did stop growing for a bit, because their shells will grow constantly throughout their life. It's just the growth process does slow down. So as you can see, he's quite happy munching his snail mix. And yeah, I've tried a few times with mushrooms with him, and so far he's not convinced. I even chopped it all really small and mixed it in with the snail mix at one point, and then that caused him to stop eating the snail mix. So yeah, he knows what he likes and he knows what he doesn't like. So he's currently sitting in his tank. He's got plenty of water. He's got his calcium biscuit. He's got the cabbage leaves. Obviously I've given him more than what's on here. And he's grated carrot, and he seems quite happy with that. So he's been busy nibbling. And I cleaned out the other snails on the same day as well, and gave them the same food. So they all had their snail mix while they were on this glass chopping board, because I prefer to do it out of the tank because it can make the tank quite slimy and messy. And then filled the tank up with plenty of leafy greens and carrot, and obviously refilled their water dishes for the big ones. So yeah, the snails are doing well. As you can see, Rick's still going strong. He's very slow, and he will only move much when he's motivated, like when he's getting snail mix. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.